And speaking of Rosh Hashanah, Jews in Israel and around the world are getting ready to celebrate the Jewish New Year. And so joining us now to discuss the significance of this holiday is founding rabbi at the Tel Aviv International Synagogue, Rabbi Ariel Konstantyn. Always great to have you with us.
Pleasure to be here with you.
So what is the significance of Rosh Hashanah? What are we celebrating?
We're celebrating a number of things. First of all, it's the birthday of the world. According to tradition, the world was created just a few days earlier, and this is the day where mankind was created, and we celebrate the renewal of the world. So it's an opportunity. We change the Jewish calendar, and we do a bit of self-assessment when comes time the new year. Rather than just, okay, let's have a party, we look inside and we see how can we improve ourselves, how can we make ourselves better, dedicate ourselves to an improved world in the coming year.
And one of the most famous traditions on Rosh Hashanah is eating apples and honey. So I understand why the honey, it's to have a sweet new year. Why the apple?
I think it was a little bit about what was available at the time. There are traditions about apple and apple trees. There are lots of Talmudic stories about the apple tree. I think there was just an added element of sweetness. You take a sweet apple with a sweet honey. We just want to flow with sweetness. We want to just infuse ourselves, our bodies, and our soul with sweet in order to give ourselves the good omen and a good sign for the coming new year. So we have there are many different traditions actually that we eat of various different foods. That's one of the most famous, the apple and honey, but we also have pomegranate and date and leek and squash and head of a fish, although we use a gummy fish. Not a real one. It's a little bit, more enjoyable to do, and we eat the head of a little gummy candy fish. But there's various different signs and traditions that we really are designed to bless each other and bless ourselves, so that we should bring in the good energy for the coming new year.
That actually leads me to my next question, is that there are a lot of other symbols and a lot of other customs besides the apple and honey this holiday. There's the shofar, of course. Which I see that you brought with you. What can you tell us about that?
So some of the other signs, for example, are like pomegranates. So we should have the number of merits, like the seeds of a pomegranate. According to tradition, there's 613 seeds in the pomegranate. One time my daughter actually counted. We got up to like 582, something like that. So almost, but it's symbolic of all the mitzvot, all the good deeds that we do. And we say that every person is filled with mitzvot like the pomegranate, no matter how observant people are. Everyone's doing mitzvot all of the time, whether they're aware or not, and we want to be full of mitzvot. We talk about the date, that we should prosper like the date palm, like the righteous are compared to the date palm. We talk about fish, that we should multiply and be fruitful, and we should be the head and not the tail, so we eat the head of the fish. Each one has a little bit of a play on the words. We actually create our own in our family and in our community. We take, for example, a piece of lettuce and a slice of celery and some raisins inside, and we say, let us have a raisin celery. Right? Little plays on words like that. Or my daughter came out with, olives, and may all of our dreams come true. Right? Or a can of Excel, maybe have an excellent year. Things like that we could be creative about it. And again, it's a good energy in ushering those blessings upon us.
I've never heard those, so those are nice ones.
Thank you.
And so what about the shofar?
Shofar has many, many different meanings. Rav Savi Yagon has the top 10 list of why we blow the shofar. The number one of it all is crowning God as king, is basically God's coronation. And every year we renew that coronation. And when a king comes in, you blow a trumpet, right? Da, 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 da. Hear ye, the king is here. So everyone stands up and you hear the trumpet blast. So the first sound that we make is a tkiyah, which is this long, solid blast that is basically announcing God as king. And that's the number one theme of Rosh Hashanah. All throughout our prayer services, we're emphasizing and re-emphasizing HaMelech, HaMelech, God is king. And that really sets the stage for the days of awe, because before we do anything about self-improvement, first we establish that God is king. And after that, we can start to work on ourselves and see how we can be better people and bring ourselves more in line with an elevated human existence. So that's step one. So we blow shofar for that reason. We also remember the binding of Isaac, that instead of Isaac was a ram that was slaughtered, so that was the righteousness of Abraham and Isaac. We also have it for the time when the 10 Commandments were given. There was shofar being blown, so we remember the covenant between God and the Jewish people, and various other reasons awaken our soul. It's kind of like a guttural cry that we do from deep down inside. There's no even words. We just kind of call out from the depth of our soul, saying we want to connect up to you, God, and the sound goes straight up.
So maybe you can blow the shofar for us so we can get our viewers can hear what it sounds like.
With pleasure. With pleasure. The sound Tekiah is the first one. That's a long, solid blast. So it sounds like this. Then there's Shvarim and Truah. Shvarim means broken because we feel like sad that we haven't lived up to our expectations. And Truah like sounds like sobbing and cry. So that goes like this. Then we always end with an optimistic Tekiah that we try our best and God appreciates our effort, if not our results. And always we look forward to a positive result for the coming new year. So it ends with a Tekiah. And at the end of a full set, then you have a Tekiah Gdola, and my kids like to count how long can I go until I run out of breath. But that's a concluding Tekiah, and those are the sounds that we make. We do 100 of them each morning on of Rosh Hashanah. This year, not on Shabbat, because it's the first day of Shabbat, but on Sunday.
All right, well, Rabbi Konstantyn, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us, and Shana Tova.
A pleasure, and Shana Tova to you and to all the viewers. May it be a sweet, wonderful, and peaceful year for us and for all the whole world.
Thank you.